Okay, what's up, fam? I know there's a lot of, actually, I've got it here on the Discord. I know there's a lot of people wondering, what's going on with my token. A lot of people are concerned about the Trump thing, him doing a token and it, quote unquote, grabbing liquidity from the market. I don't believe anything like that is actually the case. I just think that this was a huge advertisement for crypto, and we talked about it earlier in VIP chat. So anyway, I'm not gonna go too much into that because it doesn't matter. I've seen many of these cycles, and I just wanted to, make a quick note that I posted something just recently before I started this video. To anyone feeling anxious, don't worry about it. Remember, we had a BTC buy signal just a few days ago or a day or two ago. We actually found the bottom exactly when we thought it was going to happen, around 88K, even though it just wicked to it really quick. A lot of people were saying we were going down further. We could still have, a temporary pullback or something, just like a fake out. But from a timing standpoint, anywhere from January to February, early February is what I mean. That's when DXY historically starts to go down, which would probably mean that Bitcoin dominance is going down at the same time. We kind of covered this over, during the live Q&A, but I just want you to know, read this message. Don't let the market make it shake you out. It's just a timing thing, right? I mean, if you're willing to be patient, you can make plenty of money in the crypto market. If you're not willing to be patient, you're going to lose money. That's what's going to happen every single time. Are there going to be some rugs on the Degen side of things? Sure. But I mean, we'll get into this here in a minute, but we've seen over the course of whatever we've been running these alert bots, 2 months or something, 1 to 2 months, we've seen that it's 30 to 50% profitable. And if you stick to the rules, and I'm going to show you those again here in a minute so that we can keep practicing them and keep them fresh in your mind. I mean, we've already got people that are succeeding at it, right? So we just talked about this person that did 6 figures. Where is he at here? Right here. If you scroll up a little bit on my alert channel here, my signal channel, you'll see that I have like some bullet pointed things where he talked about, what worked for him. So if you follow this roadmap and you follow the things that we've been talking about on the box method and, fibs and all these things that we're going to show here in a minute. It's funny. I keep saying we're, like I have multiple personalities. Maybe I do. So just understand that, yes, it takes conviction. Yes, it takes patience. But the more you practice these things, the more it's going to become second nature to you. And you'll start to see that you're becoming a good trader using these methods. But it's all on you. I mean, once we put these things out there, you have to use them and you have to be willing to be patient. Are there going to be rug pulls like I was just talking about? Yes, there will be. There will be very few though. When you're talking about 30 to 50% win rate, I may even be on the low end there. It could be 40 to 60% on these alert bots, like the 5X and the high conviction. You can even get some really early plays here on early alpha alerts. Somebody actually did some back testing. I think it was on the 5X. No, it was on the high conviction smart money alerts. And they found that we had as high as 60% average win rate. And that was just over the tokens that they tested. But, that's very encouraging. And it's about what I figured. We're somewhere between 30 and 60% win rate. And I know that if we commit to these methods that we're going to show or that we're talking about, that I've showed many times on these videos that, either me or Tatiana pointed out. They're always here in the pin section of the Degen chat. So anyway, I know I'm jumping around here a lot, but I just want you to understand that the market's going to be fine. A lot of people are asking, is the top in? No, I mean, the timing is not correct for the top to be in. You might be seeing things on X. You might see influencers posting on there, posting on YouTube, trying to scare you to death. Just to get you to click or, follow them. You'll see plenty of that. But in our opinion, based on our experience, no, the top is not in. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through some, I think I'll touch really lightly on the long-term plays real quick here, even though we talked about it in the live QA when people had questions on those. So I'll just look at a couple of those charts. We'll jump into the box method and fibs and being patient and buying on support or buying things when the alert first shows up. I'll show you some tokens that showed up today. And then what else would we need? Oh yeah, we're going to talk about the Mugetsu, like the this token scam check thing that we added. This costs us a lot of money per month to have on the server, but it's something that we said we were always going to be committed to you to do. We're always going to be pushing the envelope and trying to provide things that are going to help you make money. And this is one of the things. So you can either, well, we'll get into it in a minute here after we go through these other things, but you can go through here and use Trench Radar or Mugetsu, but we'll show that here in a minute. I am going to timestamp this, just generally speaking, so you can jump around if you want to look at the Mugetsu Bot first, and you don't need to look at the other stuff, then that's probably going to be near the end of the video. So let's talk here really quick. Let me just make sure there's no questions here that I need to answer. Okay. So let's just jump. I need to do this really, really fast. So number one, top is not in because, this is one example. MVRV Z-score is way down here. It's not way up here into the red zone like it has been every time there's been a market top. Plenty of room up. Nansen, I will show you this very quickly as well. Okay, here we go. The purple line here is the short-term tokens that have a 30-day over a 360-day moving average cross. So this is all tokens across CoinGecko. So it does include some memes and stuff like that as well. And we're showing about 23% of those tokens are bullish currently. And that was down from about 32%. So it just did a little cool off period here, kind of like it did back here, kind of like it did back here. And then there's a continuation each time. When we get up here near 90%, like we were way back here in November 2021, actually that was here, the first top, which this will kind of coincide with March, April for us this year, I believe, before the summer downtrend. And will we get a second top into October 2021? Maybe, but we'll have to see what happens during the summer. So we'll be taking some profits, somewhere around March, April, something like that, most likely. We'll see what it looks like. But when this happens, it's around 90, you can see right there, it says around 93% of all tokens were bullish at the time. So, look how much room we got to go up. There's plenty of room. We're way down here at 22% are bullish currently. So, you're still early is the point. All right, so let's jump into Bitcoin. It's clearly bullish. We did say that it was probably going to dip down in here. Let me get rid of the total 3. And then our full moon happened. I was actually talking about this a day or two before the full moon. I said this tends to happen where, maybe it dips into the full moon and then takes off out of it. Now we may have a little pullback when the new moon comes in, which is, let me just see when that is. New moon, January 2025. Okay, so it's January 29th. So that would be right here. So you can see, here's our new moon. Had a little bit of a dip, but it kept going. The full moon back here, actually it dipped right after it. But this was kind of we were in a sideways range at the time. Now if we start getting bullish again, you're gonna see full moon pump, new moon barely a pullback, and I'll show you an example. Probably something like this. We're probably coming out of this right here because this is very similar. So you get a full moon pump, you get a new moon, not exactly a dip, maybe a few days later had a little dip and then maybe a little bit more and then another pump out of the full moon. So that's what we're looking for. And then February 28th or something, I think is the next new moon for next month. And that's another point that we'll be looking for a top because that'll be getting closer to March. So, we'll be watching. MACD's looking really good. Bitcoin dominance, we're still right in the resistance zone here. We're waiting for it to break down. Once this breakdown happens, that's when alts really take off. Same as back here where this big move down happened after it broke down. It's not exactly similar, but just imagine that, all this is all of this. It's just in a, it's much more flat. I can't really see anything here to say one way or the other if it's ready just yet, but it will be soon. I can't give the short-term timing exactly, but then when that happens, it comes down to here, roughly around 42 to 45%. And USDT is bearish. That's good for us. Let's just go over a few of these that are in the long-term plays channel. Again, the long-term plays channel is right here. Where are we at? Right here, long-term plays. Remember, you can click on any of these chart links and you can get like Opulus here that I'm looking at currently. You won't be able to see Engineering Robo unless you own it, but you will be able to see, I don't think I put a final target on this one like we did on the other one, but like say for example on FLT here, you will be able to see the target thing that we put here based on Tatiana's targets. And that's a hopeful target. We don't know that it's definitely going to reach there, but we just, we hope it does. There is a bullish divergence here, possibly on FLT. It wicked right down to support, looking pretty good for accumulation here if you want to accumulate. No guarantees there. I mean, it could fall down a little bit more. This one's been accumulating sideways for a while now, Opal. They just added AI support for what is basically Spotify for blockchain. This was just an accumulation box that we had drawn before. Remember, on all of these charts, you want to try to accumulate near support. If it gets above the bullish line and dips back down to the bullish line, you want to accumulate there. So, you could have been buying here and getting it real cheap. Clearly this sideways price action, to me anyway, is going to break out eventually. And the reason why I know that, I almost said the reason, is this right here. And I'm going to show you this on another chart as well. So this is Wyckoff accumulation. This one's been accumulating for a long time. You can see it's got a top here, top here, top here, top here. And this isn't necessarily a spring. It didn't get under these two, but that's fine. And you can see it's starting to build up here. I'm hoping this is what's happening currently. I suspect that it is, but we won't know until this really starts moving up again. If it can get above the bullish line within, like say by early February or something, then we'll know, it's really getting ready to make its move. I'm not going to pull this up on every chart, but if we look at it on XPRT, you'll see that, it's kind of like got a W here, which is basically that. And then from here to here, that's the top. This is a weekly chart, by the way. And then there's a spring right there. And so this one, you're just hoping to see this where it holds support, starts working its way up. Okay, I don't think, well, yeah, I didn't really finish this, but this is a DXY chart. Anytime you see these, it just goes straight up like this. They're going to have, like this right here, it just went straight up. I'm not saying it's going to be that long. I really don't feel like it will be. I think this is going to create a lower high here. But when you see something that just goes straight up like that, it's a rising wedge, and it's actually a bearish formation once it finally finishes its move. And really what you're looking for is you're looking for a bearish divergence. So, will it do something like this, where it creates a lower high and then rolls over? Of course, that's the weekly. Remember, the higher time frame you go up to, the more it can lag. So here you've got possibly a lower high right there on the MACD. You could even go down to like the 4 hour, 3 hour. It's just kind of sideways on those. Yeah, not a whole lot to see here, I don't think. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything that's a clear bearish divergence. It is hitting a top here multiple times, so it could roll over here on the 12 hour. Trying to see if I see anything there. Anyway, I think it's getting close to, I'm just going to see if I can compare something here. Compare something here with the, what do you call it? The dominance, Bitcoin dominance. Just using a fractal here. Yeah, I think it's really close to rolling over, DXY is. So I think historically, like I said before, between January and February, early February, it tends to roll over. All right, I know I jumped around there. I had that thing in the wrong position. DEAI, we talked about it. I felt like it was finding a bottom pretty soon here. We talked about it in the live Q&A, and it looks like it had a little bounce right here. Could it come down one more time? Possibly. I don't think it'll get any lower than that support right there, though. Let's see, we talked about that. We were talking about Sol earlier. That's nothing to worry about there. SBR is kind of, I should have pulled it up on TradingView, but people were asking about that big dip. It bounced right off of that big dip. I'm not saying it can't revisit that. But, this is one that I think, unless they're just really fooling us, I think this is one that you want to hold at least through the inauguration. I mean, maybe they front ran it, but usually when you get a breakout like this, that's just the beginning of the pump. So, we were buying way down here. I don't remember. I think we were buying here or here somewhere. So regardless, we were early. I almost told people, maybe it's time to take profits here at 260 or something the other day. But I mean, what if you miss a bigger pump, right? So it's just up to you. You could have taken initials out there easily. You had plenty of time. So you just have to decide what your strategy is. I'm just holding it for now. But I'm not saying to follow me on that. None of it's financial advice. You got to make your own decisions on that. Okay, so we talked about long-term plays. Again, you can look at a bunch more long-term plays here and find the ones that you want to accumulate, whether you like high market caps that are in the billions or you like low market caps, which Cincy was 10 million at one point. Now it's probably like 50 million market cap, but it's still low. I know people are going to ask about Cincy, so I guess I better bring it up real quick. Cincy, I said a long time ago, after it had made this peak, that I felt like it could be doing a bull flag and come back down into this next support area. And it could even dip a little bit under that. But, that's fine. I mean, when you make a 10x move, you've got to expect some kind of pullback for it to at least do like a 50% pullback, because people are going to take profits after 10x. Always thinking about, when you're trading something, think about what other people are doing. If they bought way down here with you, when we were saying this is a buy zone, they made a 10x as well. So smart money is going to be taking profits. Okay, so we covered long-term plays. If there's any questions on that, let me know. I'm going to get into some of the Degen plays here. And I just want to mention really quickly, I've talked about plays like RM9000. Hang on, let me find this for you. So I talked about things like RM9000. It's a little bit further up here. Agent is another one. There was a lot of these I was talking about at the time. Psi we were talking about. I should probably bring that one up because I know there's going to be a question about it. These are projects that do have active devs and that sort of thing, and I think they will recover. But what's happening right now is it's just in the shakeout phase where it's, these are going all the way back down to support. And of course, you don't want to see the Psi go down too much more, I don't think. But remember, as long as it holds like 100, 200K market cap, it's fine. But if it just goes down here and flatlines or something down at 50K, then it's probably done. So, not looking great, but it is still a fairly new token in general. I'm just trying to see if there's anything I'm seeing here. Is MACD creating a bullish divergence yet? Not really. At the time we were talking about it, looks like it's making a bullish divergence somewhere in here. And it did make a small pump, but it just didn't do much. So, I mean, it just really depends. It's hard to say. You're going to lose on some of these, but you're going to win on others, and it's going to make up for the losses. So if you're holding this one, I don't really know what to tell you exactly. I think I had mentioned before that if it lost 500K or something, I would let it go temporarily. But remember, use your box method, and we'll talk about that here in a second. I guess we could go ahead and use it on this one, actually. So if, let's just show the box method here real quick. So once this thing put in a top, and you would have known by the time it hit here that a top was in, maybe you didn't catch this first pump, and that's fine. Box method looks like this. Let me put it on the 5-minute actually, because you're going to be doing the box method when it's fairly new still. I mean, you can do it later as well, but you're going to be looking at it while it's moving in real time, basically. This is going to be hard to see, though. I'm trying to get it to where you can actually see the candle bodies here. Okay, I think I got it. So while this was happening, what was this, 345? Okay, so while this was happening, you could have gone ahead and done you could do a box method on this, because you wouldn't have known that this was a smaller fractal before a bigger move at the time. You could either taken your fib tool right here. It's called fib retracement. I'm on gmgn.ai website, but you can do this on deck screener as well. So this one showed a lot of strength. It didn't come all the way back down to the 786. This is just me pulling a fib from the bottom to the top wick. If we use the box method, and we're just using candle bodies here, so you would have felt like the top was in, you know, as this thing went down right here. And let's see, I'm just pulling, so I pulled a box from, first box I pulled from the bottom to the, just the candlestick wick, the candlesticks themselves, not the wicks. And now I'm taking the second box and I'm pulling just from the bottom to the midline of that first box right there. And now I'm going to pull another one from the midline of this second box that I did to the top of it. Something like that. And you can stack these boxes as well, you know, within here. You could do something like this as well. And just stack them within, you know, box on box type thing. Okay, so once you do that, you're going to hold down Alt if you're on your computer and hit H, and you're going to put it right in the middle of that smaller box, and then you're going to put it right in the middle of this other smaller box. Let me get rid of these so that's not confusing. So the smaller box, I'm doing it right in the middle, you know, the midline of that smaller box, and then the midline of the second larger box right here. You're not really drawing anything off of this. You were just pulling these boxes off of it. And let's see here. So what you're looking for, you can get rid of the boxes now, because now you've got your, we're calling this the buy zone right here. You know, anytime it falls within this area, you can consider buying. Anytime it's above the top line, that's bullish. Anytime it's below the lower line, that's bearish. And it's just kind of neutral if it's in this buy zone, but this is what we consider the support area. Yeah, so it almost touched there. I don't know how you could have made that buy right there, because this was showing a lot of strength, and it just, you know, it almost bounced and it front ran that line and then took off. Maybe you would have gotten lucky there, I don't know. But remember that around 1 million market cap, if it pumps through 1 million and it starts coming back down, generally it's going to find some support around 1 million. Now it could dip back down a little bit further, you know, to 500K, 600K. It does happen. I've even seen some come down to 100K. But 1 million, if it can get above that, then generally, if it's a strong one, it's going to hold that 1 million on the next push. And so in this case, if you had bought that, you know, price is going up, you know, maybe you hit your 2x, you take your initials out and you just let the rest run. And you could have, I mean, well, I should put in here that we would have been watching the MACD at the same time. We don't want to forget that. So let's look at it here real quick as we were doing the box method. Really, we would have been doing this on the 1 minute chart, because this is how we would have been able to see the MACD. Of course, this is taking forever. Okay, there we go. All right, here's what the MACD looked like at the time. And I'm gonna have to make it bigger just so you can see. All right, so here's the price action up here. We got our top, it's coming back down. And you finally got to move back above the midline right here. So really, you know, remember when the MACD is below the midline here, and the midline is separating these green candles from the red ones. Hopefully that's clear. Let me zoom in here more. So you were almost hitting your buy zone, and at that same time, it was crossing up. You could have taken this play as it got close to the support, but this would have been even safer right here, because it finally got above the midline on these two lines right here, getting back above, and that coincides with the 50 RSI being bullish again. And then at that point, your MACD never really crossed back down. It did temporarily right there, but you could have gotten right back in, you know, even if that happened. Just understand that the 1 minute chart is going to chop a lot. So on the 1 minute chart, it's probably better just to consider the midline here as your bullish bearish area. You know, you could still take profits on a cross down, but like I said, you're going to be buying and selling a bunch. And that's why as price continues, you want to go to a 5 minute chart or go to the highest time frame that you can. And so if we move up to a 5 minute, you're going to see, let me get back here to where we were. Let me zoom in. Okay. So on the 5 minutes, you're going to see that you got that same cross up. You got a cross up here, but you got the cross above the 50 RSI or the 50 midline of the MACD. And then as that happened, price pumped. You could have stayed until here or here, either one, taken profit. You could have gotten back in here, because it is above the midline again. It turned back up. You could have gotten out here again. And then now, when the two lines got back below the midline of this MACD, you would have been like, well, I'm not as interested in this one anymore because, it's back into the bearish zone. So what could you have made on these plays? You would have made conservatively 150% there. And then on the next move, conservatively, another 50%. So this is a pretty easy 200% win on a token. Of course, it didn't actually hit the buy zone. You would have kind of had to be lucky in this case and just bought it there. Or you would have had been watching it, that it was getting back above the midline there. The MACD is going to help you a lot, by the way. But this kind of went sideways for a while, and you didn't have to be in it. I mean, you could have gotten back in here, got out, got in, got out. I mean, you could have made some small profits there, but the main thing that this would have done for you is it would have kept you out of a long downtrend, and that's what we're trying to achieve here. Because look here, on the MACD, once it crossed down here, remember this is the bearish area under the midline. Both lines are under this area all the way to here. And you could have even taken this trade right here and then just gotten out real quick because it turned right back down. You may have even taken a small loss there. But the goal here is to keep you out of a long, drawn out, sideways, down, price action looking thing. And we'll just see currently what it looks like. Remember, if this is our buy area that we drew a long time ago, we're not even interested in this token right now because, it's below the buy area. Because remember, under this line is bearish. And let's just see what the MACD is doing at the same time. Yeah, the MACD is below the midline as well. It's showing a lot of weakness right here because every time it tries to get above, it falls right back below the midline. I'm trying to see if there's any other thing we can find here. And there's really no bullish divergences just yet. But what you'd want to watch for on this one, if it was to get back up into the buy zone, then that might be where you want to take a position. And it still could. It could happen. I mean, this thing's still sitting at over 400K market cap. It's not dead or anything. Now, it could bleed out. I mean, even if the person is, even if the person is active in developing it. I mean, they're doing giveaways, stuff like that. It seems like they're staying active. There's 24 smarts in it still, smart followers. So I think it could still do well. And so that's kind of, I don't want to get into this too much, but that's kind of the situation here with some of these tokens like RM9000 that I've called previously. Yeah, they're just kind of languishing down here near the support area. If I was to do box, draw the box method, you would find that it would, fall somewhere in here where these bottoms are. And then on MACD for this one, it's still bearish, looks like to me. What am I on? Hourly. Yeah, it's still currently bearish. 5 minute. Yeah, still weak. Kind of looks like Psy in that regard. That Psyos coin that we were just looking at. But jump around to different time frames and see what you see. The higher time frame is going to lag more, but you may catch some kind of, where this is starting to taper, maybe creating, a bullish divergence there at some point. But what I'm hoping for, these are very powerful when they break out. So we've touched 1, 2, 3, 4 times on support. It may have just a little bit to go down. I don't know. Maybe it's already found its bottom. But once this thing finally breaks out of here, I think it can really move. It's just that these are taking a long time to do anything. Claude's the same way. 1, 2, third touch maybe. But every time it touches, it usually pumps. Although it's not immediate. LLM is getting close to its second bottom, I guess. I guess you'd call it second bottom, maybe third. MTM1. This is either 3 or 4. I'm not sure which. Cove. Looks like it's making its second touch possibly. But these really aggressive dips happen before another move up usually. Agent 1, 2, 3 roughly touches maybe. I can't tell if it's going to come down one more time or not. It could come down a little bit more. It's hard to say. But I wasn't looking at the MACD on these either. You kind of need to take a look at them. Yeah, I mean, they're bearish, obviously, currently. Mements, this is the one that I talked about yesterday, how it was doing a triangle, and it could, sometimes they fake out and then go back up, and it did, and you could have made some money on that. That was a 2x. But currently it's showing that it's actually acting weak again. So not only is the MACD under the midline, also it's under this triangle, and it's under the top line of the buy area now. This is the box method lines right there. 47th, this is one that Rod called yesterday, and we said it could come down to 2 million still. That's exactly what it did. You could have made like a 4x there. Yeah, something like a 4x. Now it's doing like a triangle, and you'll just have to see which way it breaks. It's hard to say what it's going to do just yet. Draw you a triangle, something like that. Listen, this is one that Alternative in the chat was talking about, and it's currently under the buy area, so we don't know what's going to happen with it just yet, but this could be the second touch on support. We'll just have to we'll have to see over the next couple of days what happens with it. He was noticing that a Trump token holder had switched some of the Trump tokens over to this one, so it may or may not mean anything. We don't know. It is one of the wallets that we track, by the way. So let's maybe just look. Let's see, is there one? I want to see if there's one that just popped up. Let's do one in real time, and then we'll talk about Mugetsu, and we'll be done. I'm trying to make this as quick as I possibly can, but it's a lot to go over. Let's see, that was 35 minutes ago. When was this one? Okay, so here we go, 4 minutes ago. I think that's the one I want to use. Yeah. So we're going to look here at Person of the Year, POTY. I'm going to bring up a new GM. Well, I just used the one for Psi. So I'm pasting it in here. And let's go to the 1 minute chart. We do have a MACD there. That's good. Okay, this one started way back here at 11 or 12 my time. Didn't do anything, and then it pumped all of a sudden. I don't know if you could have caught that. Well, let's see. Oh, that's right. It just showed up 4 minutes ago. So let's see, when was this? 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're already in profit if you would have taken the trade. And you got a cross up right here. Now, the only issue with this currently is you do have one line that's crossed above the midline MACD, but this line hasn't crossed it yet. You could have taken this, though, because your MACD is crossing up. It's just you got to watch what's going to happen here and see if this thing is going to roll back over or if it's going to keep going. You could go ahead and do a box method here. So you go from 0 to your candle bodies right there. And the name of this tool, by the way, is date and price range. And I'm just going to stack the boxes here to make it easier. You don't have to drag them out. And you can also grab these lines right here if you don't want to do the shortcut Alt-H. So horizontal line here, and another one there, and then get rid of your boxes. And now you've got your buy area. And currently it is finding resistance at that top line. If it does get above that top line, then it has more power. It can keep moving up. But this is your current support line. You always want to treat that box method. The bottom line you want to be your support, top is your resistance. But in general, anything in here is going to be a good value buy. You just don't want to see it lose this line down here. As long as it stays above this bottom line, which you could call support, and then eventually you definitely want to see it get above that resistance line. But if it gets below here again, then it's showing weakness. So it's up to you where you want to buy. I mean, if you would have been watching it and already had your lines here, then you would have bought right here roughly, pretty much as soon as it got above the line or closed a full candle. Buying at this resistance could be problematic, because what if you buy it there and then you start to see it come down and you don't know what's going to happen? So try to buy as close to this bottom line as you can. But like we looked at that one a minute ago, you're going to get some that come down and they're just so strong that they don't even touch that top line. So in that case, you really need to be watching your MACD. Like for example here, if you were watching your MACD and you saw something like this, a cross up, and it was above the midline there, then you could take that trade because this line crossed above the slower one. Here's another one that just popped up. This one's actually just 8 seconds ago. That one had such a big drop, it's hard to read this one. I don't know if you could actually do a box method. Let me check the fib first. Yeah, you might be able to. So you drag, try to do it from 0 if you can, even though you can't see the candle body very well. Okay, and I'm just going to drag this real quick. And I'm going to hit Alt-H to do lines quickly. It really doesn't take any time at all to do this once you get used to it. All right, so it is trying to get above. You could take a position here. You want to make sure the MACD is crossing up, which it is. Now, sometimes the MACD could just go sideways, so, be aware of that. It could languish down here for a while under the midline, which means it's bearish. I'm not going to sit here and watch this too long, but the main thing is you just want to see a steady increase here of your two lines. You want to see well, it depends on what color your lines are, but for me, the blue line is the faster line and the yellow line is the slower line. So this is the 12 crossing over the 26, and you can change it to whatever you want. But this is showing a lot of resistance. You really need to see a pretty good move up to this top line to feel good about it. While you're waiting on it, you could jump over here to X and look and see if the dev is like busy. This is some information you can get right here, bro. He's responding to this guy. You rugged 2 tokens the other day. What makes people think you won't rug this one? You rugged your own dog. Yeah, there's a lot of people saying that they don't like this person, so. Oh, it's Ryan Fournier. What is the name of this token? TikTok? Yeah, see, there's so many TikTok tokens out there right now. You got to be careful with the narrative that if there's too many of one token or too much of one narrative, like really quickly like this, you're jumping in late. You're not in on the first TikTok token, and there's a higher chance of getting rugged because now there's more fake projects showing up. So this one just doesn't look that good. It's having trouble doing anything after this dump. So this recovery here is probably people just hoping that it's going to go back up. So yeah, I wouldn't be interested in this one at all. It's just way too weak, and maybe it does something, maybe it doesn't, but there's so many alerts that we get. You can find a much better token than this. And on top of that, when you click the X, like we were just looking at, it went to somebody's post. It wasn't even a real project. So, try to look at things like that. This may be a really good example. If we let's go back to the X, and let's bring up, let me bring up the Mugetsu Bot. Let's go ahead and shift into the Mugetsu Bot and talk about some of the commands you can use. So token scam checks is where you want to go. I'll be honest, I haven't really used it too much yet, but Alternative in our group says that he likes it so far. And we're just going to kind of go over some of the things that might be useful to you. So number one, what you want to do is hit /, and it's going to give you, if you're on mobile, I think you'll see these icons show up on the bottom somewhere going horizontally. You want to click on this one with the white background and the little ninja looking guy. So click that and you'll see all of the commands that you can do. So first, maybe we want to check bundles. Let me get the, I know this is a bad a bad one. So maybe this will kind of point out how useful this can be. Sometimes the bundle check on Mugetsu doesn't work and you have to use a different command, and I'm going to show you. I mean, it's not that it doesn't work, it's just that it doesn't, show it correctly. And you'll see right here, the creator says, tip, check out our new tool /fresh. And it's saying that that's the better one to use for bundle check. So I'm going to do /fresh, I'm going to hit space, and I'm going to hit enter. And now we're going to see all of the tokens. Let's see, well, it wasn't much actually, it was just 0.30 Sol. So this wallet right here funded this wallet, which we can't see that full wallet address, but they sent this amount of Sol to this other wallet that they owned, and they sniped some of their own supply, which this isn't much at all actually, but still looking at price action, this is a dead coin pretty much. Another thing we can check is Twitter. So that's why I pulled up Twitter here. Let me make sure you can see all this. Yeah, okay, good. I wonder if you can see, are you able to see this when I pull that over? I just want to verify something real quick. Yeah, you can see it, okay. So we're gonna grab the Twitter address, which, well, we can't even do it on this one now that I look at it, because it would take you to Ryan A. Fournier. I'll try it. We'll just see what it shows. So you type /scam, hit space, or click the username box here, and then type in Ryan A. Fournier. Just type in their Twitter address. Yeah, so scam only tracks deleted tweets that contain a pump fund link. So since this isn't a real project, we can't really use it on this. Let's go back to that other one. What was that other one we were looking at? Hang on, I got to bring it back up. Was it 5X? Was it early? I think it was this one. Okay, person of the day, or person of the year. All right, so our lines are still there. It is showing some weakness here, like we were talking about. And we're gonna go to the Twitter. And here's what we want right here. We want to copy this, POTY, Trump on Sol. And we're going to go back to token scam checks. And we're going to type scam. I'm going to hit space. I'm going to paste it in. Or you can type it in. So no deleted tweets found for this one. But there is another check we can do for Twitter or for X. Let me find it here. That notable followers. Twitter, okay, here it is, Twitter reuse. So we're gonna paste this in to see if they've ever used this Twitter account before. And they have. So let's see, they actually have it. Let's see, 4 days ago, they had one called Fegs. There was another one called Trump Bull 2025. So this person is creating tokens really quickly and scamming people. And this is one that you'd want to stay out of. And I think that the price action is enough to tell you that it doesn't look great. But sometimes these dip like this and then they find more footing and push back up. Maybe, well, you know what? It's actually gone up to 10 million. So just remember, if things pump really hard, they usually need more time to consolidate before they move again. So in this case, I wouldn't be interested in this one anyway, because this person's reused Twitter many times for different tokens. And you can even see right here on GMGN, it found it 2 times that it changed. So, sometimes you can still make money on these, but just understand, like you could have easily made money on this on the alert, but just understand that, these are more risky, and that's what Mugetsu is going to help you with. Another thing we can look at, let me just show you a few more things and we'll wrap up. So let's / again, let's click on the Mugetsu icon, and we're going to check DEX. We're going to see if they paid their DEX, and what that would mean is that they paid to have it advertised on Deck Screener or some other place. I think this is Deck Screener that it's checking. So this would confirm that, they're actually putting some money into it, although it doesn't really cost that much money. What else do we want to look at? I'm just trying to think of what else would be useful for you. I mean, you can look at the early buyers of a token. There's actually a lot of different things here, and you really need to just, mess around with it and see what works best for you. But you can see the total amount bought, the current total holdings by the first buyers, and the top 10 holders are 16.47%, which it'll actually tell you that on GMGN, so you really don't need this for that. I think this has a sniper thing on GMGN as well. So it's really the same thing. Okay, let's see what else we got. So we're all just kind of learning how to use this, but all of the big channels use this, all of the big discords use this to help them find plays that are less risky. And many of them use this before they graduate or get promoted from Pump Fund. So if you're somebody that likes to take more risks like that and try to find something on BullX that hasn't gotten over the 70,000, 80,000, whatever market cap it takes for a SOL token to move to Radium, then this would be very helpful for you for that as well. Here's a couple of different things that I think would be extremely helpful for somebody that doesn't use Nansen or somebody that doesn't use Moni, that hasn't bought those two things. This could kind of be like a free way for you to use that. And I think it's this one, top holders so this would kind of be like the Nansen side of things. You can see some of the bigger holders that, some of these wallets have a ton of SOL in them, right? 598, 400. Of course, these could be the token creator too. Let me see here. Yeah, see here, wallets with a exclamation point means that they did not buy the token. This wallet had the tokens transferred to them. So something like this could indicate that, it's an insider wallet or something like that. But this isn't really a very good list. Let's look at one that would be. Let's say 47th maybe. It's kind of a new token, so I don't know that it would work on this one. So I'm going to do /top holder or top dash holders space and paste in the CA. And Alternative and I were talking about this as well. You can see down here the eye emoji. You can see how many times people have searched this token across all of the Mugetsu users, I believe is how it works. So that would indicate also, how much people are looking at something like this. And so here you've got a wallet that holds Peanut, Dogecast, Selfie. Here's one that holds USA, Win, Numu, Hat, Hollow. So, these are probably pretty big whales here. And that may give you some more confidence, being in the trade. You can see how much they're holding of each token. And so if you want to click on this wallet and go look at it, you can actually see what they're buying in real time even. There's free, I think there's free ways you could look at it. Cielo, I believe, is an app that would allow you to look at these for free. So, maybe this is something you want to do. Instead of buying Nansen, you can do it for free. And then the other thing I was going to show you, what was that other one? I think it was the notable followers. So this would kind of be like the Moni side of it that you'll be able to use for free. It's not exactly Moni or Nansen, but it's similar. So this would tell you notable followers, like say if somebody like Ansem was following a token or something like that. Or let's see, there's another one here similar to that. I think it was first followers. Yeah, here it is. Find first followers for a given. So this would allow you to find accounts on Twitter that maybe you want to follow, that are getting in on plays early. But we'll look at this one here. Where was it at again? Okay, notable followers. All we need is the Twitter username, which 47th I don't think has one, but we'll look at listen. So I just need to know what listens. Oh, it's Pietrix Soul. I guess we could use that. That's actually somebody's personal account, but they're the dev working on it. So you got Zeneca, which is a very well-known person, Mario Newful, Spider Crypto, Psyduck, somebody that we follow. So there's definitely multiple big accounts that follow this person. Could give you more confidence, getting into the play that you want to get into, which again, this one's for listen that we were talking about earlier. What else do we want to look at? There was one more thing that I really haven't looked at yet. What was that one? I saw it just a second. Oh yeah, wallet analyzer. So let's say you're seeing one of our wallets on here and you're interested in them, or you find a wallet somewhere else. I mean, we could even pull, here, let's just look at this really big wallet right here. It's gonna take me to soulscan.io. I'm gonna copy the wallet address, and then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna paste that in right here. So it's wallet-analyzer, and then I'm gonna paste it in this box. And let's just see what it's gonna tell us. I haven't looked at this yet. Okay, portfolio performance. So here's their unrealized gains. Well, just unrealized amount so far. Here's their P&L. What's their biggest win there lately? 7x right here for 47th. They bought it really early. They got some losses there. Oh, here we go. So their win rate 61%, and their net profit is 756 SOL. So this looks like a very good wallet, right? I mean, they're very profitable, and they're going in with size, to tell you that, hey, I mean, look, there is some right there, like Kada. We just talked about that one yesterday. 47th, of course. Rod talked about that one yesterday. Cool is one we played not too long ago. Some of these other ones. Oh yeah, Nazari AI. I think we played that one maybe. So yeah, there's a couple here that are some crossovers from what we did as well. So you can see how to use this now. Hopefully, hopefully that's clear. But just continue to mess with it. Kind of play around with it and see which portions of it that you like the most. It's not easy. I think this top holder's floor. I want to see this one too. It's not easy to take the time to do all this, but you're going to get faster, right? Let's see. I'm going to look at this one. So I copy this top dash holders dash floor, paste in the contract address. And now what am I looking at? Top holder entries for Mements. The people with the green dot are in profit. People with the red are in a loss. I'm not sure how you could use this necessarily, but you do have all the wallets here. I guess it would help you find ones that are profitable if you wanted to look for profitable wallets for this token. I think there is also an option here, like say if you wanted to go back and look at swarms or something that did a 200x. Here it is, early PF wallets. Okay. Yeah. So let me bring up swarms here, because that was one of our biggest wins ever at 200x. And we're going to copy that and go back. And so it's early dash PF dash wallets. And then I'm going to paste this into the box. And we're going to see who was buying it while it was still on Pump Fund. And you can actually copy this whole thing, I think. Yeah, you can download and you'll get all of these addresses. There was 94 wallets found that bought it before it graduated. It's a lot to look through, of course, but if you had some kind of compiler or a program or something that you could run these through and find a really good wallet, a high P&L wallet or something, it might be a good, of course, this is before it graduates, understand? So it's still very risky to be buying these before they graduate. We like to wait until, they've already done that. But, if you're somebody that likes to take risks like that and do those bull X plays, then, maybe it's something you want to do. But checking the decks and stuff like that is going to be very helpful. Checking bundles using the fresh command. There it is right there, fresh. You can also find out how and when a wallet was funded. What is this? Return stats for recently graduated pump funds. Oh, I guess I have to put an actual contract address in there maybe. So yeah, just play around with it. There's clearly a lot of different things here. What is this one? Oh, first image search. I don't know what that is. There's clearly a lot. Holder scan analysis. I don't know what that is. Heat map for the crypto market. There's a lot of very useful things here. What does this actually show you? It doesn't even look like it lines up correctly. Yeah, so anyway, just have some fun with it. See if it's useful to you. I can definitely see some useful things in here. Like the first followers or the notable followers, or, checking out these wallets that are currently in it to give you more. Everything you're doing is try to give you more confidence, right? Or trying to weed out the scammers to where you don't get rug pulled. So, use this as much as you can, and hopefully it will give you a lot of benefit. We're going to keep running this Mugetsu Bot until whatever it is, March. Let's see, January, February, March. It would run till like April 18th. So it's kind of perfect timing when we think the top will have been in by then. And if people continue to like it, we'll buy it again. But it's very expensive. So I want to make sure that everybody's actually enjoying it first. Okay, hopefully this video was good for you. Let me know if you got any questions or comments or anything like that, and we'll go over them in the future.